Hi, yeah, let's get started. I'm Dr. Carolyn Peruta from Sonoma State University, and we're also working with Jeffrey Reedy from Sonoma State University. And we are proud to introduce Axel. He's a recent graduate of Century High School in Southern California, and he's passionate about robotics and planetary science. And actually, less than a month from now, he's going to start his freshman year at UC Riverside in mechanical engineering. Really incredible. So, without further ado, I'd like to pass it off to Axel for your presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Peruta. Hello, everyone. My name is Axel. And before I present, would you like me to present, or would you like to share your screen? Or I'm not sure how this works. Or
Totally up to you. What would you prefer?
I guess I'll share my screen just for convenience sakes. But well, without further ado, let's start. Well, let me get ready for a little bit. And this is the SOPI Rover project by yours truly, which is an acronym for Servo Accurate Wheels Printed Interconnect for Extrusion, which started with the, what was it? Like, I think it was like a SAWPPIE, but they just named it to a Y just because, it's convenient. And well, oh, sorry, excuse me. So basically, the drawing board is before the rover parts came through. I read a book just titled "The Design and Engineering of Curiosity of How Mars Rover Performs its Job," which is just for context. Curious and Perseverance is just two rovers launched on Mars. That the book dives into construction, just such as the goals of those said rovers is to understand the surface, radiation, habitability, excuse me, landing region, and biological potential of Mars, which is on page 21. And and SOPI was basically the combination of Curious and Perseverance, and the goal was to make a combination of these rovers on a budget that one person can work without the expensive expensive taste and niche parts. And what I mean by niche parts, I mean like you can't go to your local grocery store and buy nuclear energy for your robot because they don't sell it. It's out of order. But the scope and goal of SOPI was excuse me, was to understand the fundamentals of remote rover control, Mars geology, robotics, and navigation. And we apply the engineering design process with an emphasis on professional communication, such as returning back and forth with emails, how do you cite your images, etc. And to build a motorized model of Mars, following SOPI, the rover instructors created by Roger Chang, and create a 510 slide presentation demonstrating that said experience. And the questions that I had in mind was, how can I manage to make an invention with something so compact? And where did this idea even come from? Or why? And will I have time to finish this Alumda Deadline University? Because UCs, for me, I realized can be very demanding. And how do I manage time with something heavy as this? And as you can see on the bottom screen, it's just me just working on my mechanical parts while listening to some music while using said so products. The question is, how did I get there? Well, it's currently still a work in progress as it's very, very, very demanding. And I have no desire to quit on my biggest projects ever touched on. I see this as my hobby and passion project. It's something I can see myself working on. And the tools that I've used is filing tools, nuts, bolts, and too many names to hear. And to show you what I mean, yeah, that bed is just the tip of the iceberg for that one. There's another box outside waiting for me. I have Google Sheets, Zoom, Gmail, weekly check with mentors, and just finding motivation is the things that I just needed for a day-to-day basis. Well, the end result, well, I haven't finished the project due to issues I had to resolve on my own. Many things have came to my mind, such as the construction of a rover can take a very long time, just like how people with different illnesses can respond to the things and how they register time. Not everyone is like the same carbon copy. Everyone is unique in their own definitions, whether whether it's this or that. And at the end of the day, I'm not really here to say, oh, like you should do this or do that. Do whatever you need to do that's necessary. But as you can see on the screen, the SOPI rover body is there, the box, see, uh, and a differential brace that is a rocker bogie suspension system, which I still have, fun fact, on the background. And When it comes to reflection, it takes time for someone to do certain tasks, and it's pivotal to ask for help with any issues. At least it's for what I interpret from my end, whether it be how to solder plastic or to set up my future classes for fall of 2022. It gives me consequences of deadlines of a workplace that no other program has taught me beforehand. And there will always be supportive and considerate people who will help and lend you advice if you choose to ask. It's just a matter of conversation and how well you can deliver that said so conversation. It's just a moment of reflection where you can think about it and consider. And where I should really go from here. Well, as I said before, I have no intention to give up on my project because I see this as like a hobby and my passion project. Like how people like tune or like fix cars in their spare time or play video games for an example. And I wouldn't know where to take this project in the future. I say it's up to each person's interpretation of it because I can't really give a definitive pinpoint answer because everyone has different ideas. But if you were to ask for my 2 cents, I say take it as it is. I think it's perfect. I think it's fine. The roadblocks, oh boy, we have a lot. Um, well, for first, I had to prioritize my school schedule first, which means that I had to like get ready for registration for school, transition from high school to university. And and during that time, I got COVID in the middle of July. My mom's wedding in August, orientation, and sometimes there's a lack of motivation. Like sometimes I would just be laying down on the floor, just contemplating on stuff. It just gets really annoying and hard. But enough of my stuff. Well, thank you, Dr. Pruda, for helping me set up my UC Riverside classes. Her liking The Legend of Zelda and her bright personality show me the power and kindness of this patient. Fun fact, that's the Legend of Zelda poster for reference. Right there. Thank you for Jeffrey Reedy for teaching me the useful skills of filing an instrument by hand, solder materials, and demonstration of a rover in a short amount of time. He honestly really showed me how to get your hands dirty, how to get hands on with everything. Like how people say it in Spanish, or like how do you say it? Échale ganas, like put your effort in. And thank you for the neurodivergent team for giving me a wonderful place where a member of that set so community can share their hobbies and learn the wonderful communication skills is. Thank you very much to everyone who's listening. Thank you for giving your 2 cents on everything. I'll be available for questions. Thank you.
Thanks, Axel. Thanks for your honesty there about challenges and roadblocks. I don't know that I've ever seen someone say that, they just didn't feel like working today and that got in the way of finishing the project. But you also had a lot of new life changes coming up. So we're excited for you to start college. And we're excited to see you finish that Rover.
Yes, and of course, I will say that although this is supposed to be a rover that one person can build for a reasonable amount of time and money, it turned out to be a lot more complicated than we thought when we first dreamed up the project. So
we learned a lot from this project.
We all learned a lot as well. And it's a cool project. So I hope that you can, someday find the time to keep going with it and build it. And meanwhile, we have a really cool one in our group that we can drive around now since Jeffrey was able to build his.